Hi, welcome back to another CRIISP tutorial. Today we're going to be showing you how to set up your deal room. Now, you can do this in two ways. One is if you haven't set up a deal room before, you'll see the task on your dashboard as soon as you sign in. However, on the left here is your deal rooms. We're going to go ahead and click My Rooms. Click Create New. And then you'll be given additional details in regards to the terms and conditions. If you haven't created a room before, click Accept. Now, we've gone ahead and set up a new feature where you'll go ahead and select presets. This will typically help you in respect to whether or not you're doing a capital raise, due diligence, or you're doing one as a custom set. For this instance, we're going to be selecting capital raise. Going to go ahead and click Next. With the deal room name, typically what's best practice is to do the company name followed by what the raise is. So we're just going to set this as Series A. With your status, you want to keep that open. When you've gone ahead and closed off your round or finished it off in regards to you don't want any more investors, you'll go ahead and click Finished. Your investors can still talk to you and engage with you. And then when you've gone ahead and closed off your round, select as closed, and then that will go ahead and pretty much freeze off the room. With the application form type, typically you'll be dealing with the information memorandum digital form as opposed to the prospectus. If you have your own special purpose vehicle or any other like convertible notes or any other documentation that might need to be signed as opposed to using our digital forms, you'll go ahead and select digital form custom form document here below. And then you can also select which region this deal raise is actually going to occur. In this instance, we're doing it in Australia. Next. All right, so with the capital raise details, these are pretty straightforward. We're going to set the currency to still stay as Australian dollar, but you can go ahead and select other currencies depending on where you're conducting your capital raise. With total raise amount, we're just going to set this at 1 million. And we've raised $0 so far. With your share price, we're going to set that as $1. And then you can see here the total share offering is 1 million shares on offer with 0 shares taken. In regards to the issue restrictions, this can be anything in regards to board approval or if directors need to approve, if it's only restricted to sophisticated investors or if it's open to retail investors. Again, this is entirely optional, but you have the option to put in those details. Now, you've got two other options here below. One is allow oversubscription, if you want to allow investors to invest more than what's been issued, or if you want to go ahead and set a minimum investment. In this case, we're going to set a minimum investment of $25,000. Click Next. With the transaction details, you'll typically set that as the details that you have for your bank account. In this instance, with the Australian bank account details, you would put in your bank name, BSB account number, and everything else. If you're dealing with international investors as well, you'd also want to put in the SWIFT payment details as well. In this instance, we're going to go ahead and uncheck those. You can also set additional payment instructions if you've got cryptocurrency wallets, or if you need to have investors to make reference numbers so you don't miss out on the transaction when you see it on your statement. Click Next. You've got a few options here. Typically with your privacy settings, you would want to go ahead and hide the total raised amount, shares available and invested so far. If you haven't raised so far and you're just opening up your round. If you're still in the process of creating your deal room, would probably recommend not to publish into the investor marketplace just now. You can definitely change that in the settings, deal room settings, over in the deal room once you're ready. And then finally, we've got an overview tab to allow users to see that without access. We'll get into that in another video. We'll click Finish. And now it's going to open up the deal room.